Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Observe what I am going to do now. I'm going to say print, hi, how are you? Okay, and I'm going to type this many times. Hi, how are you? I'm just copy pasting this. So let me copy this and then paste this. You all know what is copy pasting, right? Okay, you all have studied MS Word, Notepad and things like that. In fact, even on your cell phones these days you have this copy paste facility. Okay, so I can do it as many times as I want. So as you see, I have typed this 10 times. Now when I run this code, it says hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? 10 times. What if I want this to be displayed 100 times? Remember, we discussed something similar to this on Scratch, right? You recollect it, right? We introduced you to what is called the looping structures, how to repeat a task many times, how to instruct the computer to repeat a task many times. I'm going to do that right now. Just observe. So this 10 times, if I were to do this 100 times, I must copy paste this 100 times. That's a very tedious task. So Python has a nice way to do this. Let me show you how it's done. For I in range 10, what does it mean? Don't worry, I'll tell you. Print hi, how is everything? Maybe I should put a comma here. Let me be precise. Okay, good. Hi, how is everything? And a question mark here. Boom. My English is bad. Okay. So for I in range 10, print hi, how is everything? What does this do? This sounds again very weird. Remember the if statement? We wrote something and then put a colon here, right? Similarly, we write for I in range 10, print hi, how is everything? Bear with my speed, don't worry. Let's see what happens when we execute this, and then I'll explain what exactly this is doing. Okay, so wow, see what happened? It was so fast, you people did not probably observe it. Hi, how are you is how I typed it 10 times, but here hi, how is everything is displayed 10 times. How did this happen? Let's observe. So I is a variable. By now you all know what's a variable. You have done it in Scratch. We have been talking about it in Python. So I becomes a variable. In range 10 means this. In English, this statement means create a variable I. Range 10 means start assigning the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to I. I repeat. For I in range 10 means assign 0 to I, come execute this statement. Assign 1 to I, come execute this statement. Okay, assign 2 to I, come execute this statement. 3 to I, execute this statement, and so on. Right? Perfect. So I varies from 0 to 9, and hi, how is everything is displayed 10 times. Confusing? Don't worry. As and always, practice makes a person perfect. Let's practice more of this for loop. For, let me remove this, delete. For I in range 5, print I. Now this will teach you how for loop works. Okay, let me run this. What is happening? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I variable takes the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever you put here, it starts from 0 and counts 5 numbers. And one at a time is assigned to I. And then that particular value of I gets printed here. You see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to say 10 here, you guessed it right, it will say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I say, look at this, print hi, you are in number, let's say, close it, comma, I. What does it do. Let's see. Hi, you are in number 0, you are in number 1, you are in number 2, you are in number 3, you are in number 4, and so on. Right? Perfect. This makes it very clear to you what we are doing. Okay? Let me display the multiples of 2. How do I do that? I'll delete everything. Let me start from beginning. For I in range 10, colon, and then I should put a tab here. I should come here, and tab is because you cannot start from here. You should always start from here. Okay? So let me type. Print. I will simply say I into 2. You know what this does? This will simply display your 2 tables. Let me click this run and observe what happens here. Run and boom. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. But we knew 2 tables till 20. That's because I in range 10 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last number will be 9. So 9 times 2 will be 18. That's why it is stopping at 18. If you want it to stop at 20, you should remove this and put 11 here. And now look at the magic. So it starts from 0 and goes till 20. Correct? Okay. Perfect. That's about for loops. Observe them slowly, patiently. Practice a few problems and you'll be through. What we will now do is we'll go ahead and discuss more of for loops so that it becomes very familiar to you. Okay? It is at this point that you must understand everything of what I have said about for loops. Okay? So take a pause, observe the video once again if you want, write a few programs, and let us see more of for loop in the forthcoming lectures. Okay, let us now use for loop to do some very basic mathematics. The reason why I am doing this basic math with for loop is to teach you how to use for loop. Okay, let me ask you this question. What is 1 plus 2? Of course 3. What is 1 plus 2 plus 3? It is 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. What is it? It is 55. Let me use a for loop to do this. Okay, to add the first few numbers. Why are we doing this? Because we are crazy. Alright, this is the usual questions that people ask. Why do you make us do all these things? We have a calculator, we can add any numbers we want, right? Why are you asking us to do all these things using some complicated programming? Now, the point is to not add these numbers. They're essentially useless to us, right? But to understand how Python like programming language can be used to add such numbers up to whatever level, right? It is just an exercise problem for you to learn the intricacies of for loop. Okay, let's go ahead and try to write a code for this. Look at this. Answer is equal to 0. Answer is equal to answer plus 1. Answer is equal to answer plus 2. Print answer. What will be the output of this? Let me check. Initially answer will be 0 and then answer will become answer plus 1. We have discussed this in Scratch in detail. This sounds like this is the weirdest thing for a beginner programmer, right? He will start wondering, what do you mean by a variable equals variable plus 1? It doesn't make sense. Please note, this simply means the existing answer, whatever is the value for it, okay, I am adding 1 to it and I'm adding 2 to it, right? So answer equals 0, answer equals answer plus 1, so answer becomes 1. And then answer equals answer plus 2, answer becomes, initially it was 1, it becomes 1 plus 2, 3. So I'm printing answer, it will be 3. A good thing to do is to actually print answer in all lines. Please bear with me, there's a reason why I'm teaching you people this. Answer and then finally answer. Okay, then run. It says, whatever. I should not write it in codes, you see. Yeah, otherwise it will just display answer. Correct? We have discussed this once again. So computers are dumb. They will not understand what we are trying to ask them to do. So initially answer is 0, and then print answer, answer will be 0, printed, fine. Answer equals answer plus 1, so answer became 1 and I print the answer, so it becomes 1 here. Answer equals answer plus 2, answer was 1 and then I add 2 to it, so it becomes 3, so answer is displayed as 3, correct? Now let me go ahead, answer equals answer plus 3, print answer. Now this should be like 0, 1, 3, 6. This is same as adding 1 plus 2 plus 3. You see why? 6. That's what is happening here. Think. That's the most important part here. Okay, so answer equals answer plus 4. Print answer. What will this be now? This will actually be, let's execute and see. 0, 1, 3, 6 and 10. That's because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 1 plus 2 is 3. Simply 1. And then nothing, 0. Right? If I keep doing this, let's say answer equals answer plus 5. Print answer. Answer equals answer plus 6. Print answer. Answer equals answer plus 7. I'm killing time, as you can see. Okay, so that's because many people wouldn't know how to do all these things, right? Some of you are very familiar with programming. Some of you are taking this up for the first time, right? So it's good to be slow and precise. Answer plus 9. Print answer, and finally answer equals answer plus 10, and there you are. When I execute this, this should be equivalent to, what was that? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus, correct? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 that we saw already, which was 55. Let's see if we get this number now. Okay? Ready, steady, go. Let's run this program and see. Boom, 0, 1, 3, blah, 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 up to 45. It is not showing me 55, which should be the answer. Why is that? Can someone tell me? That's because you are calculating answer, but you are not printing it. So dumb of me. Correct. So now let me execute it. I will get the last one, 2, which is 55, which is the sum of numbers from 1, 2, 3 up to 10. I'm not happy with this. I want the sum of the first 100 numbers. How do I do this? This is where our for loop will come to our rescue. Let's see how this is done. Look at this. Answer equals 0. Perfect. For I in range 10. Answer equals answer plus I. Now wait very patiently. Let me not go up to 10. Let me only go up to 3 and see what happens. Initially, I takes 0. Answer is also 0. Answer gets added. 0 plus 0 is 0. And then I takes 1. Answer is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. I takes 2. Answer is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So if I execute this, it should finally display answer. When I execute this, I get 3 here. Perfect. Right? All of you, take a pause. If you are new to programming, this is the place where you should understand these 4 lines properly. Okay? I repeat, when you execute this, answer gets incremented 1 by 1, 0, 1, and 2 gets added to answer. Right? If I make this 5, you see what will happen? Answer will be 0, and then 0 plus 1, 0 plus 2, 0 plus 3, 0 plus 4, so on and so forth. I mean 0 plus 1 is 1, and then it will be 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 will be 6, 6 plus 4 will be 10. Right? It is going to be the sum of 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, because range of 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lot of details. Learning is always about breaking the details into small chunks and then observing very carefully, right? So let me execute this. I get 10. Perfect. It's for you now to neatly understand what is happening here. Okay, pause the video right now, understand, and then come back. I'm sure you're back. You now understand what exactly this code is doing. Let me now give you a mind teaser, and then let me indent this. I repeat, indent this. Initially it was here, correct? Now if I do it like this, what will happen? You know what will happen? This will now be part of the for loop. It will increment answer by I, and then it will print the answer. Right? Look at this. Yay! 0, 1, 3, 6, 10. It's printing. 0, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 plus 2, 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and it's so on. Now, magic. Let me give more details here. Print. First, I numbers when added gives when added gives answer. What does this do now? What will this do now? Anyone? Look at this. Okay, let me zoom down so that you can see the entire line. So answer equals 0 for I in range 5, answer equals answer plus I. Print. First, whatever is in quotes will be just printed like that. I, the value of I will be printed. I numbers when added gives answer. Let me run this. First 0 numbers when added gives 0. First 1 numbers when added gives 1. First 2 numbers when added gives 3. First 3 gives 6. First 4 gives 10. And how did this happen? Stare at this silently for the next 5 minutes. See what exactly has happened here. Right? Please don't post your questions on the forum without giving your piece of mind to it first. Right? Think about it. It's a very straightforward thing. Very, very straightforward thing. Programming actually is very, very simple. Okay? So now I'm going to show what, according to me, was magic when I was a kid. That this here in range, you can simply put whatever number you want, as big as possible. 100 will give you these numbers up to 100. Now see the magic happen in a fraction of a second. Boom. What just happened? First 99 numbers when added gives 4950. To scroll up, you see from 0 it is there. It just happened so quickly. Right? You didn't observe it. Okay. If I put 101 here, it will, and then run, it will go up to 100. First 100 numbers is so much. I'm a very greedy person. I'm not very happy with 100. I'll give 1000. Now it will go up to 999. If I give 1001, it will go to 1000. So let me run this button. Ready, steady, and start. Boom. See, it's done. 1000 numbers when added gives so much. Let me add 10,000 numbers. Then run. That takes some time. Good. Maybe your laptop is very fast, quite faster than mine. It might happen very quickly. Mine is taking some time. Fine, but still this is very, very fast. You see, this is extremely fast. No human being can do this calculation this quickly. So first 10,000 numbers when added gives so much. How much is this? Some 50 million, 5,000, right? Okay, perfect. This is how for loop works. You now have understood a very powerful programming instruction that you can use to tell your computer to do something. Alright, so let us do one more exercise from Python for loops. I am now going to display the tables. Okay, so initially I will say T equals input. What tables would you like to display? And I will take the input, that will be T. And as and always, you know, I'll say T equals int of T so that it becomes a number. Otherwise, you know, we have seen this already. It becomes difficult to handle. It becomes character, string otherwise. Okay. So now, print T simply, just like that. Let's see what happens here, so that we know we are going the right way. I input 10 here, and it says 10. But what I want is the 10 tables here. You see, how do I do that? print t comma, and then there must be a multiplication symbol 1 comma, and then is equal to, and then the answer t into 1, right? What's happening here? Observe. Let me run this and then see. What tables would you like to display? 10 tables. So 10 1 times is 10 is displaying, right? So let me display 10 2 times is equal to t times 2, whatever that t is. See, what tables would you like to display? 10. So 10 ones are 10, 10 twos are 20. So again, let me run. Instead of 10, if I type 8, it will display 8 ones are 8, 8 twos are 16. Correct? So let me go up to some, let's say one more. So how do I do that? Print, let me go up to 3. X 3 comma equals comma t times 3. Execute this. This time let me display 10 itself. 10 ones are 10, 10 twos are 20, 10 threes are 30. Remember your tables, right? I now want this to be displayed 10 times. As you know, for that I may have to use a for loop. Okay, for. So let's see how I'm going to use it. Okay, for I in range 10, print t comma x, and then here 1 2 3 is given, right? I want that to be I here, as I varies from 0 to 10. I comma equals t times I. So the point is, you see a pattern here. The pattern is 1 2 3. That pattern is replaced by this for loop. So how do we do that? We do that by replacing this pattern by a for loop here. Okay, alright, so let me now remove these things. Okay, so let's see what happens. I run the file. It is showing me some error. That's because I haven't put a comma here. Let me put a comma here. Okay, again run. What tables would you like to display? 10 tables. Perfect. It starts from 0, you see. That's because for loop starts from 0. 10 zeros, z is 0. 10 1 times is 10. 10 2 times it goes up to 9. That's because I in range 10 means from 0 to 9. If you make this 11 and then run, 10 here, and then you will see that it goes up to 100. Right? Isn't that fun? You can now display any tables. Let me now display 2 tables. Perfect. 3 tables. Perfect. 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 4. Perfect. That was all tables from 2 to 10, right? So this is the power of programming, where you need not necessarily display tables from 1 to 10, rather 0 to 10. You can go on up to any number you want by specifying it here. You have now learned everything of for loop almost. This much is enough for you to start using for loop. Very good. I am now going to give you all a scenario where while loops are seemingly important. Assume I'm a doctor. I have my own clinic. I must treat my patients. And assume I'm a popular doctor. There are a lot of patients. And what I do is I give them a token number. My receptionist gives them with token numbers. I start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and I go on like this. And I treat my patients one after the other. How can I write a program for this? I will now write a program for this and put a monitor outside my clinic door, which is in the reception area, where people can see which token number is being called for right now, and that concerned person can come inside. Let us see how we can achieve this using a while loop. Okay, now look at this. I will first write the code and then let us understand what this code does. While C is equal to 1, print token number n may please come in. Okay? Perfect. What will this n be? It should be a number starting from 1, and then it should become 2, it should become 3, and so on. So it should first be assigned 1. Okay? What is C? I'll tell you in a minute. Let me assign C to be 1. So now what I will do is I'll simply say input C equals input continue question mark 0 stroke 1. What do I mean by this? See, you know what happens here? C is a number basically. Okay, so I'll say int C. Okay, C is a number. When C is 0, it will come here and it will see while C equals 1. When C is 0, C is not equal to 1. So it will not pass this loop. It will not come down. It will not execute this. But when C is 1, it will execute this. Now, you have practiced this enough right now, given that I asked you to practice it. You know what while loop is? While loop simply keeps executing whatever is below while loop. Whatever is below while loop keeps executing this until this becomes false. I repeat. When the condition given here is true, where whatever is inside this bracket after a while, when the condition is true, it will keep executing this. It will keep executing until this becomes false. But the moment this becomes false, it will come out of it. Okay, it's like a bomb detonator, right? So it will keep executing this until this goes false. Once it goes false, boom, it comes out. Okay, let me type here print thank you. This is the end of our day, rather today. Okay, before anything I will say print hello everyone, we are starting. Now let's see what happens to this. As I execute this, the first line will get executed. Okay, hello everyone, we are starting. N becomes 1, C becomes 1. While C is 1, absolutely C is indeed 1. So you come inside, print token number N may please come in. Token number 1 may please come in. Continue 0 or 1. If you say 1 here, C will be taken as 1, but then you see the input always gives C as a string. You see, we have discussed this many times, right? So I make it a number. Okay, for some time you please ignore this command. You just, by ignore I mean just write it. Know that you have to write it. With time you will understand what that is, right? The one big mistake that people do, especially teachers, is teach everything about programming in one shot. It doesn't work. You have to have this knack to ignore a few details and grasp only the most important things. With time, these details will become easy on your minds, provided you keep looking at it again and again, right? So don't worry much about this. We'll revisit this sometime later. Okay, actually we have discussed this already, but don't worry much about it. It is to convert the entity C onto an integer. Okay, fine. So now I come here and I again go here, and then C continues. Okay, continue 1, enter. It is saying token number 1 may please come in. This should not be the case. It should say token number 2 may please come in. Correct? So what should I do? I should ensure that I increment C by 1. Okay? Increment, not C, I'm very sorry. I must increment N by 1. Why? So that next time when it comes, it says token number 2 may please come in. So let me come here, exit this by pressing 0. See, it exits. In a moment it will be clear to you. Let me again execute this. Print hello, we are starting. Hello everyone, we are starting. Token number 1 may please come in. Continue 0 or 1. This is for me. Okay. If I say 1, by 1 I mean, see, the 1 here is token number 1. The 1 here is a command to my program to continue or not. Okay. When I say 1, it says token number 2 may please come in. So what I'll do as a doctor, I'll treat my patient. Once that patient is done, he walks out. For the next patient, I will say, I'll enter 1 here, enter. Token number 3 may please come in. My next patient comes. I treat this little kid, and then I say bye to the kid, and the kid goes out, and then I again press 1 as a doctor. It says token number 4 may please come in. The next person comes in, I treat that patient, and then I keep doing this, keep doing this, keep doing this. So I'm a very hard-working medical practitioner. So I treat some 20 patients or even more. I go on, you see, and finally I arrive at, let's say, 36 patients, and everybody is done. What do I do now? Continue 0 or 1, right? It says continue 0 or 1. I say I am done. Let me press 0. Enter. It comes out. Thank you. This is the end of her day. Why does it say that? Because when you press 0, C becomes equal to this, right? And C becomes equal to 0. And when C is not 1, if it's only 1, it enters. When it is not 1, it will come out. Once it comes out, it will say, thank you. This is the end of her day. And that's what happened here. As and always, I repeat, and I'll repeat this many times and over, the key idea about learning a programming language. When it comes to learning a programming language, the key idea is repeatedly do the same program a few times. Delete this program and redo it. Again delete it, again redo it. Keep doing this until you're very familiar with what is happening where. And then take up more challenging exercises on the same topic, and then write your code, and there you are. You would become an expert in no time, right? Take this tip very seriously. Now close this screen and you try writing this program all by yourself. How would you make this counter increment and then stop when you ask it to stop by pressing 0? Okay, perfect. See you all.
Hello guys, welcome to yet another programming screencast. In this programming screencast, we'll be teaching you a cool data structure that Python provides you, namely the lists. Don't get terrified by the term data structures. It is nothing but a way by which you can organize your data, you can arrange your data. That is what you call as a data structure basically. So list, the name is even intuitive. We use this particular thing, list, in our day-to-day life. Maybe for when you want to go for shopping, you plan a list of items which you must definitely buy. Of course, we do buy items that we remember at that time when you go to a supermarket, or based on the things that your neighbors in the supermarket buy. Of course, there are changes in the list, but I believe most of us have the habit of taking a smaller list of items that you must definitely buy that. That is, they are the utmost necessities you have. Also, there may be changes, as I have said. So, the lists in Python is also very much similar to that. So, this is a flexible data structure, meaning that just as how I have said, you have a plan of your shopping items that you want to purchase something, but as need comes, there may be changes in your purchases, right? Something like that. As and when there is a need, you can add or delete items from the list. So that's such a flexible data structure. let us see more of it. So to introduce it, I'll start off with a sort of a recap that you had in your previous week lectures. So sir had introduced the concept of variables and how you can club variables with print statements. I hope you remember that. Okay, let me give you further more hints so that you remember really well. So we had used the different variables. For example, we had used that. Let me open a console. Alright, the console is opened now. Okay, so I hope you remember the example that sir has given. We have 3 TAs in this course. T1 is the TA whose name is, it's a double quotes we will use for a string, that is for names we use double quotes. Amit is the first TA. Simran is the second TA, and I am the third TA, Vidya. Okay, and sir has used the variable I to denote instructor, Sudarshan. So this is the example sir has used to demonstrate variables. So let me give you another situation. What if you need to store the details of the students who are taking up a course? So course students, the strength may vary, so we cannot say like this. Here it's fixed. We know that for sure there are 3 TS, so we had used these variables T1, T2, T3. So course students, the strength may vary. Just as how I had given an example of the shopping list, you have a plan of buying some stuff, but when you go to the supermarket, you may buy something additional, or you may feel that this particular thing is not really of much use to you, and or you may even sometime you may plan something, but you may get something better, you may get a replacement. There are changes. So something like that. Even here, the strength of the students, this is not something that is really well determined. So what if it is determined? Say for example, let us consider a PG classroom. There may be some 20 students. So in that case, your solution would be S1, S2, S3 up to S20. Maintain some 20 variables. Will be the idea you will get as an extension of this concept that we had already taught you. But nowadays things are changing. It's not just the classroom teaching that happens everywhere. If you would see, even our NPTEL course, the students' strength keep varying. More people may enroll in the beginning, and as weeks go by, some people drop out too. Or by all that, what I mean is, this is highly variable. It's never a case that there are 20 students and there will be 20 students till the end. That is never a case. There may be additions or deletions. So something like that. Even this is very much similar to our shopping list. This is highly variable thing. So to handle it, we need something which is really flexible. So for that, we will use something called as a list. So let me write it. It's called a list. I hope it is visible to you guys. Okay, so I have increased the font size. List. So that we call that data structure as list, which is a flexible data structure where you can add and delete items really easily. So that is what you call as a list. So let us go ahead with our shopping example or the student example, anything as you wish. I hope shopping example is more connected to us because most of us will have this habit of maintaining a list of things that you need to definitely buy. So let me take that as an example itself. So let me say shopping. That is the name of my list. So these are the things I need to buy. So I wanted to have a list. So this is how you create a list. Please note this. Please note this. You are using this kind of brackets, square brackets we call them as. We are using this kind of brackets. In your keyboard, this is near to your alphabet P, this key. Please see this. This brackets we use to denote list. This is how we are creating a list. So if I say shopping and just the brackets, an empty list by name shopping is created. So that is, a list is available but no items are present in the list. So that is what is happening if you would just say this. If you want to insert items, say for example, I want to buy bread, coffee, sugar, these are something I definitely want to buy. So this is my shopping list as of now. Okay, so if I say enter, a list is created. If I just say a name equal to and using the square brackets, within that I enter the items separated by commas. This is a syntax by which you create the list. Okay, so if I want to know what are in my shopping list, I will say as usual, just as how you had this for these variables, print T1 said Amit, print T2 gave Simran, print T3 gave Vidya, and so on. Just as how you had it, print command can be used here as well. Print shopping. If I say print shopping, see, I'm getting the list here. Bread, coffee, sugar. But see, I don't want it with these quotes and the square brackets, commas. I don't want it in the syntactical format. I want to write it in a format that is friendlier for us. How will we write down the shopping list? One by one, one below the other, right? So I want to print it in that fashion. How will I do that? Simple. We'll use what we had studied in the previous week, our friend loops. Namely, the for loop will be more friendly here. You can also try using the other loops. I'll leave it as an exercise. You try using the other loop. Most of the tasks which can be done by for loop can be done by the while loop as well, something like that. So you just try using while loop as well. I'll demonstrate using a for loop. So the method is for let me just recap the for loop, how we had used it for numbers. For I in range 3, what does this do? It will count 0, 1, 2. If I say this and a colon, see the next line appears indented. I'll say print I. Okay, let me say enter. See, I got 0, 1, 2. So to deal with numbers, you had used a functionality called range. Dealing with the items of a list is really very simple. So let me demonstrate how that is done. For item, I or item, anything, for item in the name of the list you want to give here. What is the name of the list? Shopping. Shopping is the name of our list. I'll give shopping. For item in shopping, print item. Okay. Let's say this. See, bread, coffee, sugar. It has displayed the items just one below the other, just as how we would write in a piece of paper. See, observe, it is very much similar to what you had learnt in your previous weeks. In fact, much easier than that as well. For numbers, you are using this functionality of range. For list, it is very simple. Just use the name of the list. For item in shopping, this is an intuitive name I had given. Actually, you can give any name here. This and this, you can give any name. But these two has to be same. You can give any name. Item is an intuitive name. Given that it's a shopping bag, shopping basket, trolley sort of thing. Given that the things inside it will be called as items. So I had used the name item. So this is how you print the items of the list in this fashion one by one. Alright, this process of checking through each item in the list and printing. So let me print the list as such for your understanding. Once again, if I say print shopping, just as how I already said print T1, print T2, just we had said like that, something like that. If I say print shopping, it prints in this manner with the square brackets and quotes, something that is a computer friendly format, not a human friendly format. To make it into a human friendly format, we are using loops. See what this loop does here. For item in shopping, it gets into the list called shopping and checks over each of the item, each of the entity present here, and it will print that entity. The first iteration, this is called, the item is assigned the value bread, so bread is printed here. In the next step, coffee is assigned to the variable item, so coffee is printed. In the next step, sugar is assigned to the variable item, so sugar is printed. So this process is called the iteration. This is nothing but you are iterating over the list. That is, you are checking through each item that is present in the list. You are checking through each element that is present in the list. So this is how you iterate over the list. That is, you would check through each and every element in the list. Okay, so I have printed all the elements in the list. What if I want to add another element? I want to add another element. Let's say I would say curd. Let me say curd. So I should use a functionality. There is a functionality available for this. It is called as append. It is an English word only. Append is nothing but adding to the end. So append functionality would add it to the end of the list. So if I want to add another item, say for example curd, I would do it by shopping dot append of the brackets. So inside the brackets I have to give my item is curd. So I want to buy curd as well. So I have appended it to the shopping list. So we shall try this print shopping. We'll see what is in the cart now. See, initially we had this as our shopping cart. There is shopping list: bread, coffee, sugar. So due to this command of appending another item curd, your shopping list has become like this: bread, coffee, sugar as before, and curd is added to the end of the shopping list. Okay, this is how I had added an item. So is this the only way by which we can add an item? That is it only possible that you keep adding at the end? What if you want to change the priorities? What if you wanted to buy something, say oil? You wanted to buy oil? Definitely oil is not even a single drop of oil is there in your house, and you need to buy oil for sure. Even if coffee is not available, sugar is not available, you are okay with it, but you definitely want oil. So you want oil to be pushed to the first part of the list. So how would you do that? There is a method available for that as well. That is called as insert method. That is, you insert at the given position. You can specify at which position you need to insert the item. So let me say bread is needed for me, then I want oil. So, and please note that the indexing starts from 0. This is what is called as indexing. So I'll demonstrate that first. Then let us go into this thing of inserting the items at some specific positions. Okay, so if I would say shopping of 1, this is what you call as an index. At this list shopping, at index 1, what is the element present? So index is something like a position holder, something like that. So by saying 1, what do you expect? Do you expect bread would be printed? Right? Let us see what happens. See, coffee is taken. That is the second item. I had asked 1. It's printing the second item instead of the first item. So let me try 0. Shopping of 0. Let me try. See, it is now showing the first item, bread. So what do you understand from this? Computers count in a different way. Exactly, computers count in a different way. The counting starts from 0. Humans start counting from 1. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items are present. The computers will count it as 0, 1, 2, 3. What is the third item? If we ask a human, he'll say 1, 2, 3, third item, sugar. But computer will say 0, 1, 2, 3, third item, curd. So I guess you understand the difference between the computer's counting and the human counting. It differs by 1. So if you need the second item, you should say 2 minus 1, 1 at the index 1. So indexing, this is what you call as indexing. Index is nothing like a position holder. So this is position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3 according to the computer. So this is how the individual elements can be accessed. Individual elements can be accessed using indices. Index. Using that you can access these elements. Okay. So we had printed it using some way already using the for loop. So using this indexing mechanism can be printed using our range function which we had used in numbers. That is another way of printing the elements of a list, slightly a roundabout way compared to the simpler way we had done earlier. But this is a recap for your range functionality of previous weeks as well. So let us see this way as well of printing each element in the list. Let us see it. For I in range, how many elements are there in our list? 1, 2, 3, 4. So computer, it is 0, 1, 2, 3. Range functionality starts counting from 0. We want to count till 3. So what should be the number given inside? It should be 4. Because this particular number is skipped. When it reaches 4, it will stop counting. So it will not consider 4. So till 3 only it will consider. That's what we too wanted. So we'll say for I in range 4, print, I will say shopping of I. Please observe the square brackets are being used here. Shopping of I. Okay. See, same thing. Bread, coffee, sugar and curd. This is printed. So this is slightly roundabout way. The simpler way is for item in. I'm sorry, I need to give a space here. That's why there is a change in color which is not visible. For item in the list name is shopping. Shopping. Print item. See, we got the same thing. So these are two different ways by which you can print the items of the list one after the other, just like how we write in a piece of paper. So one was you just by using a variable inside a list. Other was using the index. So when will the index be highly useful is if you want to extract only just a few elements. In that case, indices will be highly useful. For example, I had given you another instance like students information, right? In the beginning, I had given you an example of students information. In that case, let us assume that every student has a roll number or ID number, whatever you can say. They are arranged in that order based on their ID number, data has been arranged and stored. So in that case, if you want to extract the details, if you want to extract the name of student whose ID number is 20, you can use this thing like students of 20. So in our here in our list we have 4 items. I want to extract the second item. So for second I should say 2 minus 1 1. So index is 1. Shopping of 1. This extracts the second item. So in that case as well, student of ID minus 1 or ID. In case if you start counting, if you say in 0th position you have some garbage value, something like that. Name, let us say a heading, name has been, that's how we generally write, right? So let me say name, then you start writing student 1, student 2 and so on. So this is how we generally write, right? So let us assume in this way only our list has stored the items. So at 0th index you will have this thing name, which is sort of a header. So S1, the student whose ID number is 1 will be at index 1. Student at ID number 2 will be at index 2. This is also one way by which you can manage the difference between a computer and a human's counting. Just an idea that I have given. You can try implementing this student information list in any way as you wish. So in that cases, when you want this particular specific element to be accessed, in that case the indexing will come highly handy. Let me say, now given that I had said about indexing, I'll come back to the thing that I had said already, inserting your items at random positions, that is at a given specified position. See, for example, I remember that I need oil definitely, bread definitely I need, next priority for me is oil. Coffee may go in a lower priority, that is even if coffee is not available I'll not be that sad, but oil is definitely needed, something like that. Let us assume this is the scenario. So I want bread, oil, coffee, sugar, curd. In this order I want my list to be. So append, as I had shown you already, if you would see, I had used terminology, I had used it, append. So I had used the up arrows, as we had said already. Up arrow is used for history lookup. In case you want to go down, you can use the down arrows as well. Up arrow is for going to the previous commands. If you want to move one down, just assume that it is like a history lookup is nothing but like a ladder. You can climb up and down the ladder to see what you had done in the past. Okay, so I had appended one item, curd. Let me say I wanted shampoo. I append shampoo. So I had appended it. So because of it, I want to print the shopping items. Let me print it. See, shampoo got added at the end. So is this the only way by which we can do? Can we change the ordering? I want it as bread, oil, coffee and so on. I want it to be like this. So how will I insert it? For that we have a command called insert. Let us see it. What this command specifically does is, if you give a position and say insert that item, it will insert the item into that position. So it will shift the other items automatically. See how flexible it is. If you are, if you had realized something, if you are using a variables like I1, I2, I3 for different items, and if you want to change the priority, just assume how much of work you have to do. I1, I2 you had made coffee, and you wanted I2 to be oil and I3 to be coffee. If you make I3 equal to coffee, this sugar value will be lost. So you have to move it to the next. So how much of shifting we have to do manually? All this is neatly handled by Python data structure, namely the list. So let us see inserting at a specified position. Let me insert shopping dot insert is the functionality. Insert, you need to give the See, some help was given. Index and object it says. So that nothing but index is nothing but a position I said, right? So position and position holder, not position exactly as per humans. Position holder, that is one less you need to give, and the object whatever you want to insert into your list. Object is the general terminology Python uses. Items, object, items, anything you can see. So this is the method by which you do. You have to give the position first. So I wanted it to be at the second position as per humans. So it must be at index 2 minus 1, that is 1. 1, I need to insert the item. I will say oil. I want to insert oil in this basket. So I had given it. So it would have got inserted. Let us check that as well. So see, it got inserted. Bread, oil, coffee, sugar, curd, shampoo. So this is as per my priority. See how handy Python lists are. There is much more functionalities that are available with list. Let us see them as and when the need comes. Also we will give you a hint on some cool things that we may be using frequently. And as and when the need comes, you can check out our videos, we will explain. Also you can check out the Python documentation. There are a lot of functionalities available in this list. Let us see something which we may use frequently. So this list specifically has distinct items. See, bread, oil, coffee, all these are distinct items. But sometimes some lists may have repetitions. For example, consider census data, something like that. You have the list of all ages of people living in a city, something like that. So there will be definitely repetitions, right? You cannot say that if a person is 30 years old is living in the city, no other person of 30 years old should live in that city. Definitely there will be repetition. So in that case, you may be interested in finding how many number of people of a specified age group is present in that city. For that, we have a functionality called count. Let us create the data set, some random data set. So let me say ages is the name of our list. Let me just say 12, 23, 34, 42, 15, 87, 12, 16, 25, 23, 82, 57, 7, 3, 2, 3, 1, 20. Okay, just assume that this is the list of ages of different people. So we had created a list, we have a data. So in this, definitely there are a few repetitions, as you could see. 12 here, somewhere else could also be present. So in that case, I want to see how many people of age 25 live in this city. So how will I do that? I have a functionality called count that is being provided by Python lists. Let us use that. Ages is the name of the list. Dot count is the function. Inside it you need to give what is the value, what is the object, what is the item for which you want to see. I said the age is 25 is what I want to check. So I'll say 25. See, it says 1. So basically in this list, just one time the number 25 occurs. That is, there is one person of age 25 is there in our list. If I would say ages of count of 12, let me say. See, it shows 2 because we have 12 here as well as here. See, so we have twice. What if we give a age which is not present in our list. Say for example, let me say 70. I don't think there is a 70-year-old person in this list. Let me see, it says 0. So it will return 0 when this is the element which you want to check in the list. If you use this functionality, it will take this element, check through the list how many number of times this element is present in the list, and it will return that answer. If it is not present, it will return 0. See how neat it is? This functionality will be useful in some of our upcoming exercises. So that is why I had taken a data set where there will be repetitions. See how many elements are there in this list? I want to know this. Can I manually count it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I am getting very tired. It seems too long. It's looking like Nile River, something like that. I don't feel like I want to count it. Is there a way by which I can ask Python to count and tell me? Of course, yes, there is a way. That's why you could see my tone is not very sorrowful or something like that. I'm joyful because there is a way by which I can count how many number of items are there in this list. This is very handy, especially in case when we have a lot of data items. For example, let us say the student data I said, the list of students. In our online course, see, there are thousands and thousands of students. So manually counting over each name and then saying that okay, these many students are present is really difficult. Checking in our shopping list, I had created a really small shopping list just with 5 items, so it was easier to count. But see, even ages data, the sample just, I said it is a city, but this would probably be in a street. This data could probably belong to a street only. If you take the ages of all people in a city, it will be really much longer than this. Even this we cannot manage manually. The real world data may grow really big. In that case, we need to make use of some functionalities of Python to make our lives simpler. So one such functionality helps us find the length of the list. That is what it calls as length. The terminology they use is length. That is how many number of elements are present in this list. You can check that. The way is, you have to say len, that is a functionality, len of the name of the list, say ages. It says 18, so there are 18 elements in this item. And let us just, if you are growing suspicious sort of, is it really 18? I need to count it. Let us test with something that we know. Shopping list. Shopping list has 5 items, as I have said. 6. Oh, did I add another? Yeah, I had added oil. Yeah, fine. There are 6 items. See, it counts properly. Even I made a mistake. Humans can make mistake, but a computer will not make mistakes. So this is a functionality that will come handy in many situations. So please make a note of it. This is how you find the length of the list. So in that way where we can use the range functionality and indexing facility and print the elements in a list. Say for example, let us see. Okay, so I'll look up the history. See, that time I had just 4 items in my list. I had just 4 items in my list. Okay. See, it is printing just 4, but now if I say print shopping, I'll just change it here. I'm not interested to look up further. Print shopping. If I would say print shopping, see, there are more than 4 items. So if you manually want to give a number, it is difficult. So in this case, you want Python to intelligently alter the number as and when your list grows or shrinks. So let us use the length function here. Len of shopping. I need close it. Okay. See, now you got all the items. So what it does, it will find the length and it will iterate that many number of times. So it will go that many number of steps. So this is the list, the length is 6. So it will go and take this element, this element, this element. In this way every element will be covered. So by using this length functionality and loops, you can iterate over each item in the list. This is one way. A further simpler way is, as I had said, is for item in shopping. This is really a simpler way because you need not even think about the range, length and all these things. So for each item in shopping, as long as there are items in this list, keep printing. Just as how you give the instruction in English, with some modifications, you can do it in Python. Really an easy way. Okay.